Hey everybody, welcome to Talking Real Estate with Mark Wayner, the second Champions Real Estate team here at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Company. Every week we try to jump on over lunchtime on Wednesdays and kind of give you a rundown what's going on in the housing market here in the surrounding areas of Omaha. Joining me today is Jeff Peterson, also with Champions Real Estate team. Then we have Russ Williams with Williams Mortgage, joins us about every week, unless he's in contracts and closings, and same with Jeff out showing houses over lunch hour, so we're kind of busy with how the housing market's been going. So we'll jump straight into it. This last week, we saw like a couple more houses obviously coming on the market as the weather's starting to get nicer. Every week, looking back at my numbers, we have basically gone up every single week as far as new listings. So this week we have about 390 new listings coming on. Last week we had 360. The week before we had 330. The week before that we had 300. So it's almost like a 30 house increase every week. Looking back at the numbers. So new contracts, basically meaning contracts that went pending. The one off the market is about 390. And then sold homes is 314. So we've gone down from the last 4 weeks on sold homes. I mean, that's indicative of obviously the market, the numbers have come on. But when you kind of look at that 389 new listings, 390 contracts, and it's kind of like I said, weeks prior to, it's one in, one out, so as one comes on, one's going off. In the housing market. So we're kind of looking at that. But that's kind of the general gist of what's going on in the marketplace in this last week. We're seeing tons of multiple offer activities. I mean, even in the 500 range, even on up with multiple offers. Also seeing obviously in the lower price points, under 200 is very active. Not too many houses on the market. So I'll jump and show you that graphic here quick. So you kind of get a good idea what's going on. So taking a look at what's going on in the Omaha and the surrounding areas, the Lincoln MLS, we have about, when I took out no show listings, basically those are listings that are on the MLS, but the public can't see them because they're not ready to be shown yet. At that point, we're about 1,400 houses, a little bit more. But the ones you can actually go out and view today is about 1,260 homes. So when we take a look at the Omaha housing market, break that down even smaller, we essentially have the Douglas and Sarpy County area, which is pretty much Omaha for the most part, the main area, and then obviously the surrounding communities, is just under 600 homes. And then existing homes that we have, basically not new construction, we have 320 houses for you to go out and take a look at. So obviously that's not a lot of homes out there to be competing against. And then new construction, we have 272, which is kind of on par where we've been. And these numbers have kind of been staying the same for probably the last 4 or 5 weeks. As we kind of come into the spring market. Month of inventory stays about the same. We got about 1 month of inventory. So what that means is if we didn't have any more houses come on the market, we would basically out of houses in about 1 month. Average sold price has gone up again. It was about 263 last time. So we're about 264, up 17, up 18 almost percent from this time last year in 2020. So looking at the numbers in that regards, there's no better time than to buy a house now. And you just have to understand that you're going to be probably paying over listing price for that home. With that being said, I've talked with Russ multiple times. Jeff and I have talked, off camera and just kind of getting a pulse on the market and how to coach and educate you. And we have to be creative on how we're going to find some of these houses that are out there. Just had an accepted contract last week. And a lot of that is reaching out to our spheres of influence and our contacts that we have that may live in a particular neighborhood that our buyers want to be in. And it's just, hey, touching base with our family, friends, past clients and saying, hey, I know you've been in your house for a while, interested in selling in that regards, or do you know anyone? And last week, basically one of our past clients and friends, they had someone that they knew was going to be putting the house on the market, got in touch with them, and basically got the house accepted. So, that's kind of what we have to do today is be creative. If you have a particular neighborhood in mind, it's kind of the old school tactics that we still do today, is go knock on the door. It's kind of being in creative and knowing figure out if that person wants to sell their house. The worst they can do is say no, but you kind of plant that seed that obviously there's people out there. And then, being flexible and being contingent of ultimately that seller would have to find a house in that regards too. So the other thing was sellers. So, that's one thing I went and looked at a couple of houses this week. You can't just throw the house on the market just because it's a seller's market. You still have to clean the house. You got to make sure the carpet's in good shape. You got to make sure the walls are painted. Because if you want to get that top dollar, you kind of have to put some of that work into it. You don't got to go overboard on it, but it just has to be presentable because buyers know what they're getting. So if you're listing it at a really high price and you want to get that at it, then, it better be there because, a lot of these buyers are writing multiple offers or have written a couple contracts. And so they know what their money is going to get them down the road. So, but yeah, that's kind of what's going on in the housing market. So I know, Jeff, if you have anything to add, I know you've been out showing houses just as busy as I am in that regard. So just, if there's anything you wanted to touch on or what you.
Yeah, I mean, briefly. And the biggest piece that I want to, I guess, stress right now is there has to be a game plan in place. And you kind of touched on it a little bit, but with the way the inventory is right now for home buying, please don't wait until the last minute and you're like, hey, I'd like to be out in a couple months. Certainly that could happen, but call us early. We can talk about a game plan. We can get you set up. We can talk about what the market's doing and the things that we're going to need to have in place and have a strategy and a plan in place. And if we do that, we're obviously going to have more success in finding that next house for you in the quickest amount of time possible in the market that we're in. So that's the biggest thing is just reach out. Don't wait. Talk to us early, well before you really want to do something so we can put something together for you.
Yeah, I think that is. I mean, if you're in an apartment or something of that sort, figure out what is a month-to-month type of solution, or is there family or friends that you may be able to crash on the couch, or they may have an extra room, to be flexible on those closing dates, and then ultimately be flexible for that seller as well. There's the things we're seeing now that I've seen, houses, some of the contracts that we didn't get accepted, talking to the other agents, there's some that are in the 300 price point that are going for, what was that one? Almost 50, $30,000, $40,000 more than what the house was listed for. Now, if it appraises at that, good question. But what we're seeing now is buyers are willing to pay the difference in appraisal. So what that means is say your purchase price is $400,000, the house was listed at $350,000, and the highest price home in the neighborhood sold at $370,000. There's a $30,000 window there that appraiser is going to have to justify that value to the bank. Well, essentially, if the bank says the home's only worth $375,000, let's say, it was listed at $350,000, well, there's a $25,000 shortfall that if you as a buyer have said, well, I will pay, the difference in that appraisal, well, that's $25,000 on top of your, initial investment of, say if you're putting 20% down or 10% down or whatever it is that you have to come to the table with. Now, does that make sense? Maybe it does for you, maybe it doesn't. But I mean, some of those things, it's like, you want to be knowledgeable what the market's doing. And ultimately, as real estate agents, we don't have a crystal ball of what the market's going to do, next year. We can't guarantee it's going to go up another, 17% like it did this year, so that's something that we have to be very cautious of. And that we talk over with our clients. And if you're working with an agent just saying, this is what you got to do to get it, and you write the offer and you're not thinking about that, you may want to, ask more questions about what's going on in the marketplace, because yeah, it's great you get the house, but to what cost, and there are different scenarios that we will talk over with you on ways that we can position you to compete in those offers in that regard. So, but like Jeff said, you have to have a plan in place. It's tricky. If you don't have a pre-approval letter, if you haven't met with the lender, it's not even worth going and looking at houses, because if you don't know your purchasing power, if you're only approved up to 300, we don't want to start looking at 300. Like I said, some of these houses are going for $15,000 more than listing price. So it's just setting those proper expectations up front with our clients. And that's what we're here for, is to coach and educate you through that so that you don't get frustrated. And it is, and we are I'm not going to lie to you, you're probably going to write a couple different offers, unless if we find those off-market houses. I kind of saw a meme that said, if the house is on the MLS right now, you're already behind the 8 ball. And so, Berkshire Hathaway, we have over, 900 to 1,000 agents out there, and we have, office exclusive listings that we've seen, and, put our clients in better position to maybe put an offer on those houses. Maybe there's only a couple people competing and you're not getting 20 offers, so those are things that, it's just, what neighborhood do you like? I'm happy to go knock on doors, talk at Ring doorbells, and do a 30-second infomercial saying, hey, you want to sell your house? My client looked at one down the street. It's pretty similar floor plan based on the house, the exterior of the house. So yeah, all that thing aside, ultimately, in order to buy a house, you know, if you're not paying cash, you got to talk to a guy like Russ Williams at Williams Mortgage. So I guess, Russ, what are you seeing as far as, you know, on your end of things with the lending aspect of it, interest rates and appraisals and stuff?
You know, it's interesting. I'm going to echo what you guys have said. There's an English expression that's claimed to have been derived from a Chinese, traditional Chinese curse that says, "May you live in interesting times." Folks, we're there. Point I want to make to echo what Jeff and Mark have said is that you have to be prepared. Michael Jordan, perhaps the greatest basketball player to ever step on the court, spent far more time preparing than he did actually performing in the game. So you want to have a game plan going in and work with a professional agent that knows all the strategies to make sure you have the best opportunity to win that bid. As far as mortgage rates go, we have seen yet again this week a little bit of a rise in interest rates. This is not a surprise. We knew this was coming. Since February 11th, rates have been on a very gradual increase, although we do expect that could move up a little bit more quickly over the next 2 to 3 weeks as more inflationary data comes out. Now, inflation is not something that's terrifying me right now, but it is important to know that a year ago now, we had some deflationary numbers as the economy shut down. So as the new year-over-year numbers come out, we know we'll be replacing down months from last year with up months from this year. And that's going to point to a little bit of inflation. What that means is mortgage rates are expected to continue to rise throughout the next several months, but I don't anticipate they're going to go out of control. Folks, you want to buy the home at today's price. In the event you've got to pay 5% more for a house in 6 months or a year because you want to wait, that is far more than the cost of a refinance if the rates happen to go down, which is no guarantee that they're going to do that. Keep in mind, we just came off of 50-year lows, meaning we haven't been in this range for over 50 years. The likelihood of us going back down to that range is probably pretty low. So buy the house today and make sure you have a strategy. Contact Champions Real Estate Team, and they'll be happy to set you up and give you the best chance to win the bid.
Yep, and that's the thing. I mean, it goes back to the adage of supply and demand. You know, right. Excuse me. Right now, we don't necessarily have that huge supply. Which, I mean, when I got my license in 2008, and I've been a fourth generation, so you know, even talking to my dad about, you know, he's been in it, you know, the second generation, I guess, for him. But in that sense, it's just one of those things that what can we do to get the houses going? You know, that supply, and then just the affordability. You know, Russ and I talked about it, that it's kind of the Nebraska and kind of this Midwest, you know, we're kind of always removed from what's going on the coast, but inevitably that always comes to the center. You know, and I know in California and stuff, and I know Russ and I talked about this, I think last week, that, you know, as these house prices keep going up and interest rates are going up, affordability isn't going to be going up, you know, with, you know, people's salaries and stuff like that aren't necessarily keeping up with that. So, you know, are we going to see potentially 40-year mortgages and stuff just to keep those payments, you know, affordable? So those are some things just to kind of keep on the horizon. And like you said, it's like, you know, that supply and demand, they're not building enough houses for, you know, what do you say, when I know the numbers you've thrown out there, about 10 million home buyers, and there's only 1.2 to, you know, 1.6 million homes on the market in the US, you know, so that's just a general economics 30,000 foot view of it. So, but and I can hear in the background, I think some buyers are all knocking on your doors trying to get in and get the rates set up. So, but
good time to buy, folks.
Yeah,
values are going to rise for you.
Yep. And then as always, you can jump on to our Champions Real Estate Team .com website. So this basically will have all the active homes that are on the market up to date and going through that. Also on here, we have your home buyer guide and a home seller guide right here on the right-hand side. Click on that. Basically, it's our Google Docs. You can download it on your phone or whatever and read through that. That's going to give you some good information. Like we said, our goal is to give you a playbook and get a game plan put together. And then our also is, you know, part of a game plan. And, you know, I know Jeff coaches and I coach hockey for 15 years, is you got to have a scouting report. You know, you got to have an agent that's out there working in real estate all the time. Because, you know, last year there were, I think the numbers were 29% of agents in Omaha did not have a single transaction. So out of 3,000 agents, a third of them didn't have a single transaction. Now we look at how many agents, you know, maybe only had 1 or 2 transactions. Well, if you're only doing that business, you know, in this market, you need to know what's going on, and working with, you know, here at Champions Real Estate Team with the volume that we do to know the ins and the outs, and to basically set you up for success, and at least give you our goal is to get a seat at the table, on both sides of the coin. So as I look here, upcoming events that we have coming up. So we have our Easter egg hunt. It's a drive-through Easter egg hunt at Walnut Grove Park, right by Millard South. So it's about 150th, 151st, and Q Street. This will be this coming Saturday, March 27th. So if you're watching this later, but this Saturday, 1 to 3. So basically we'll have a flyer. We have, I think, 22 big eggs that we'll have in trees and, in the ground and stuff like that you can drive around with the kids, and find them. It's kind of a little scavenger hunt type of thing. If you want to stay at the park and play, there's playgrounds. We just want to be as COVID friendly as possible. We have goodie bags while they last. I think we got about 300 of those. We have Easter baskets that will be, giving away, in a drawing. So put your name and all that kind of stuff in the hat. We'll have the Easter bunny there as well. So if you want to jump out of the car, take a picture, whatever you're comfortable with. So it'll be from 1 to 3 at Walnut Grove Park. In that regard. So other than that, I think that's kind of all we have. I don't know if Jeff or Russ, if you guys have anything else.
Nope, I think I'm good.
Covered it well. Be prepared,
All right,
folks.
well, yep. Give us a holler if we can help. You can visit our championsrealestateteam.com. You can jump on our Facebook page, message us. My phone number is right here. So is Jeff's over there on his screen. So 402-672-7670 or 402-960-6823. And then if you need to get in touch with Russ to get a pre-approval letter and get your ducks in a row, 402-290-8936. And we will see you guys next week. Hope to see you guys this Saturday. It doesn't have to be for kids. So if you're bored and don't have kids, you want to drive around and hunt for eggs. So love to see you. Love to catch up with you. And as always, take care, and we will see you next week.